And this is part 2. Assassin's got, yes, my father-in-law lives in Knoxville. Hey, well, I did get it right, look. Hello driver, let's finish off where we started. Use the F1 key and let's see what needs doing. Oh, I think I'll do that. I'm going to use the 9 key though. Right, stop at the north shunt. So, let's blue line, blue line, blue line. So let's come back to the north shunt. So we're going to the north line, over to the scrap line, back to the turntable, into the production shop. This is basically just a tour of the, unless it's going to give me instructions as we go. Oh, he's got the rail driver, has he? That's awesome, F. Goulds. Good evening, Gouger. Welcome to the stream. X-Shooter, it sounds like whatever you're setting up when you press the pantograph, it's still there when the pantograph lowers, which means it can re-trigger it. Without seeing that bit of code, it's difficult to tell. Sorry about that. That's a good old-fashioned bug. Alright, coming back to North Shunt. Right, now we can stop. And while we're stopping, it's time for the tea. Here's the tea bag, and I've run out of lime tea, so it's lemon now. Right, now we're going to scrap line 3. Which is where, for Zachary? That one. So sneak around the back line now. And then that should get us into... No, scrap line is that one. Right. Go. If you want to get really clever, Stephen, what you could do is make a scenario where the scripting drives the train, drives the loco, while the player is asked to stay in the brake van, and then what they do is operate the handbrake for the brake van from the rear of the train. Obviously they'd be able to operate the train, although lock controls might... No, don't do lock controls. But you can override that and then you can let them use the handbrake on the guards fan and just see whether you get any gameplay out of that. That'd be interesting to do. Not easy, but it would be interesting to do. Everett, what's with the multitude of flavoured teas? Not really, I only drink tea, green tea with lemon and green tea with lime, or green tea with just nothing else. Depending, really. These tea bags are just a bit too convenient, that's the point. My other one, I like a glass, a mug of oolong or gunpowder tea, but then you have to have all the gubbins to make that work. Good night, Ninja Joker. Yes, Twarog, gunpowder tea. It's called gunpowder tea because of the when it's dried up, it just looks like little gunpowder pellets. It's quite a strong tea. Even it's one of the stronger green teas. Right, we've got wagons in here. If memory serves. Yes, we do. So we just need to be a little careful as we come in here. Thanks for the host, F. Gourds. So how are you finding your rail drive then, Twarog? Rail driver, not rail drive. Right, let's see what happens now. The turntable. That's that one. Oh no, hello, what? We've got a pop-up message or something. Can you make a train drive on its own? Yeah, you can use the script to send all the right instructions to the controllers to make the player train be driven by script. Now we have to get to the turntable somehow, but all these wagons are in the way. That's just rude. So we need to get to there. I kind of want to take a bulldozer approach and just push those wagons out of my way. Or I could come back and then come right round to here. There's nothing indicating any direction we should be going. So I'm going to assume I don't move anything, I think. Doesn't say that I don't move anything though. Cheers, Steve. Thanks for joining. You're drinking Earl Grey next? No. Ugh. I hate Earl Grey. Can't stand that drink. I don't know why. It just tastes rubbish. What am I going to do? I'm trying to work out what my decision here is. Do I come all the way back and then back round this way? From there we then need to come to the production shop shunt, which will take us, we can do back that way, then go back to the turntable. We just seem to be doing a tour of the facilities here. You know what? I'm going to assume we're not doing any coupling and moving around, and I'm just going to go back here and then come back round. Because I can't see another way of doing it that doesn't involve that. Because those are my two ways in and they're all blocked. Right, off we go. I'm not confused, I'm just evaluating options before racing in. Yeah, it feels a lot nicer to drive with a rail driver, doesn't it? It just feels like you're connected to the train a bit more. Assam tea's alright, Ed. I mean, most black tea that you get, like PG Tips, is a mix of Assam tea. So most people drink Assam tea even if they don't realise it. No, confused means trying to find options. Evaluating options means, wow, lots of options. What's my option? What's my best option here? It didn't say I couldn't move wagons, but it's solvable without doing that. So I'm going to be a smart aleck because I can. Right, we are going back down a little ways and then we'll probably come up that line, I think. JPT, you may find the rail driver doesn't work with 100% of trains. It works with a lot more than it used to, but certainly you may find some that doesn't. Yeah, it should work with most trains, Francois, but you'll certainly find some that may not, because trains are all scripted differently. Yeah, if you... oh, I've got to go back. That's the junction I need just right here. It's just down to how they're scripted. If they're scripted with complex stuff, then it will. It probably won't work. Axieg, I would, with my strongest advice, of say avoid using anything from Kuji Rail Simulator in any scenarios, just because it ups the memory footprint of your scenario to catastrophic, enormous levels. You are much better off not using it at all. Right, that gets us to the turntable. If you're prepared to dig into the MacroWorks scripting for Raildriver, then you can make it work with every train in the game. Because some of the trains need custom scripting. Squeaky squeak past that HST again. Is it possible to script an AI train to sound its horn and bell in scenarios? Not usefully. I mean, you can write a script that will make it sound its horn, but you couldn't necessarily make it do it at a particular place. Right, turntable is our destination. MC6443 flight and train simulation. So yes, quite a long time ago. Yes, they did, and in fact, this last one just gone, they had a show as well. X-Shooter, what's actually causing power mode to change in the first place? You could always use set target control value to 0 on that one. The problem is one of the things that with the way that the controllers work is that they move from setting to setting. They have a target controller value, and if you just do set controller value, and let's say the target is 1, and you say set control value 0, then the next frame it'll start winding it back up to 1 again. Whereas if you do set target controller value 0, then that should stop it from moving at all. Right, that's turntable. Production shop shunt. Just basically doing a tour of the facilities. That's it, that gets us into production shop shunt. No, AI trains don't look at the. You know, you got those. What you're talking about is like the whistle board markers that make you get give you a penalty if you don't blow the whistle. Those don't interact with AI trains. Yeah, BNSF. We'll be all over this route. Right, we're going back through the shop, but we need to make sure the Traverse is set up. Oh, it's already there for us. Excellent. When you press U, it should change power mode. When the panto goes there, it should block. So right, what you're probably doing is you're pressing U and you're directly making the power mode go up. What you should do is make U control something else, and set power mode or something, and then you should in your script set power mode, and that way you don't have to do anything with the set power mode button. That remains tied to the animation of the switch. Ed, yes, you can script the Loco to whistle, but you can't trigger that to happen somewhere because the AI trains never listen to any track messages. Agseek, don't use Kuju assets in scenarios unless you really, really need to. If you're going to use anything in a Kuju, then try and use as much as possible from it to make it worthwhile. Because it's in the Kuju Rail Simulator. The Kuju Rail Simulator US isn't too bad. Kuju Rail Simulator is a very, very big folder structure. Particularly if people have got things like the the UKTS freeware packs that Knockins did. They blow up the size of the Rail Simulator folder to mammoth proportions. And if you access just one cattle wagon from that folder, then the entire X gigabytes of that folder gets loaded in. So it's a bad thing, okay? How do you keep that in sync? You'll need to put script in there so that you use the set power mode button controller as a trigger to decide whether you want to actually set the power mode or not. To be honest, without knowing more about what you're doing, it's I'm just throwing out generic ideas. Scenarios are routes when it comes to not using stuff. Well, ideally never use Kuja Rail Simulator, but if you already are, it's not a problem. Hey Mr. A320 Master, welcome to the stream. BNSF, yes, you could do that. Yes, that would work. Go to a marker and then the scenario script could then tell it to sound its horn. Yes, that could work. Could the scenario script do that? No, scenario script can't talk to an AI train. So, no, actually, that wouldn't work. Alright, let's get this train back to the turntable. Am I anti-Kuju? Not at all, Kevrev. I'm anti-scenario people finding their scenarios crashing due to out-of-memory errors. When they don't realise that, well, all I did was use a single wagon, or I used a tree. And they don't realise that it takes in everything. So if you're going to use the Kuju assets, make good use of them. Yeah, use lots of assets from it, because there's so much of that going to get loaded anyway. You might as well have it. You might as well use it. But if all you're doing is loading 1 or 2 bits, then avoid it. I don't really have a favourite of the big four. They've all got their strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, the Kuju American Asset Pack is in the classic American Assets, which I think is available in the UK. If you haven't got it, Western Lines of Scotland basically comes with all of the extra packs, if I remember rightly. The AP Station pack, it comes with both the Red Kuju packs, and I think 2 or 3 other packs as well. I don't know, Stephen Jam, what the situation is with that. Possibly. Possibly. I don't think there's meant to be BNSF Locos in that pack, but I have a sneaky suspicion there are. Is there anything in Kuju you have to use? No, you should never. You never need to use the Kuju asset folders. You can use any of the other route folders or any specific Loco packs to get any assets that you need, like route templates and things like that. This URL not found. What's the Google Maps overlay? It's a little application that I wrote. It's running outside the game and just being added by the streaming software. Loco main shed avoider. Ah, this one. That gets us to Loco main shed avoider. We're almost done. That sounds good, X-Shooter. Control target value fixes a lot of problems then along those lines. That was why I asked for it to be added. Or did I add it? I can't remember. I think, no, I asked for it to be added. I looked at the code and realised why I was having so many problems and said, can you not just give me a set target? And they did. And the world was good again. Right, so we are now going to carry on that way, and that gets me into North Shunt 1. Assassin's Scott, it would need to have a bus simulator in it as well. And a ship simulator. And I want to be able to load cars, buses, lorries and trains onto ships. And planes. No, set control target value isn't documented because it was added really late in the day. Good night, BNSF. It's fairly safe to say I don't think any more documentation is going to get done for the first gen, the current train simulator. See Betrayal, what am I doing after this? Sherman Hill, SD40-2. Chocolate and cream coaches in GWR era scenario is absolutely perfect. Which rail driver link is that, Twerog? You mean raildriver.com? Cheers, Ron Morrell, thanks for joining. Right, park these up here. We're into North Shunt 1. Where you map the keys. That's the software that comes with the rail driver. That's just the MacroWorks software, which you should have if you've installed the software from raildriver.com. It goes into the system tray. Right. Now we are going into arrival departure shunt 2. So this was just a nice tour of the facilities. Yeah, just use MacroWorks, Twarog. I seem to remember in my video I set up one of the buttons, of the blue buttons, to issue a particular key command. And you can make them issue multiple key sequences, all sorts of things. Steam Jam, yeah, we end up where we start. I think this has basically been a tour of the facilities. Smacky button. Short line, it has to be asked, is there anything you do like? If you have any problems, T, you know, just give me a shout. That's it. And we're stopped. What-o? Can it be used to open doors? Yes, in fact one of the blue buttons on the bottom should already be set up for open, load unload. But otherwise than that, just map it to the T key. Right, good job, driver. The public was quite impressed. Well, I should think so too. I mean, awesome bit of driving that was. Right, now, last scenario. This is going to be insane. I'm going to finish possibly around midnight.